All right, my friend. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. We're a little Deathpiles in Texas. How you doing, D-Roy?
Boy, I was doing good. I came in full and ready to go, but we're having technical issues. Hopefully our sound's okay. Is my voice coming through on the machine?
It looks like it's coming through, so we'll have to have the listeners give us a little thumbs up or thumbs down.
And we've replaced a computer and hoping the soundboard works, and so it's who knows.
I go on a 2-month hiatus, and the whole thing falls apart.
Falls apart on its face. Me and Jimmy been doing just fine. You come in, and we got things falling apart. Our pets' heads are falling off.
I don't know what to tell you, except, man, it's good to have a chance to record with you again.
Yeah, I didn't even get the voicemails of people missing us this time, so I'm wondering, hopefully we haven't spurned nobody.
I think we should have done like a little a summer hiatus and said, hey, we're going to take a break. Let's do the best of and come back with.
We had good intentions, though.
Yeah, but I think, what would we even call this? Like season 4 or 5, or I don't know how it works.
I don't know. Well, technically, we're still on season 1. I guess I could make this season 2. We've never actually reset a season officially.
Well, and I don't know how those seasons type work because you know me, I'm a big Guy Fieri, diners, drive-ins, and
until I show you a picture of him, you don't even recognize the man.
Well, it was a muffled picture. I went to a couple of the restaurants while we were out in New York. The East Coast trip, but on the episode thing, like you can see it on the DVR, it says like episode 39. Like I thought an episode meant an entire calendar year, but apparently that's not how it works.
No, episodes are seasons.
Seasons.
Yeah.
Showed season like 39.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe that's what we need to do.
Like Survivor's on like season 40 or something. So there's a couple of years.
So wouldn't it be like 2040?
Yeah, exactly. So
we need to figure that. I guess the more seasons you have, you sound better.
Maybe I'll declare this is season 2.
No, we got to have more than that. Like season like.
Well, we haven't done it though. I'm not going to go back and re-edit everything so it shows up as a different season. This is really season 4, but only showing up as season 2. This is a restart. How about that? Either way.
The re-kicker. So, well, D-Roy, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna.
That's the problem. We got a lot to get into.
We're going to slam down some episodes. I think the last time we were here in studio, I was like hours from going to the big NYC, and maybe let's recap on that because we had a good time. Found some bolos, a lot of good items there, D-Roy. How about that?
Let's have a recapper.
Well, like I said, we took some time, went to the big East Coast, and had a lot of opportunities to see some good things. There's some interesting shops out there. Let me tell you that. And people spend money on a lot of things. I will have to say there's a lot of hustlers down there, especially down in the subway. I know you're familiar with the area. Did you buy any Chick-fil-A's while you were there?
That was in Tijuana.
No, they had them in New York too.
I don't buy them in New York.
Mango, get a mango.
I bought DVDs that hadn't been released yet, and that was at that time. I think I bought a few Rolexes, maybe a handbag or two, some artwork.
Some artwork.
I got some artwork on the wall that I picked up in. I don't remember if that was a park or Times Square or the subway, but
somewhere.
Oh
yeah, that New York Yankee one.
Yeah.
That's in the stadium in the casa at your house.
Sure.
That was one of the cooler things. Like I said, we were able to travel and go to a couple of the ball games. And I think I brought this up last time we went, but we're all about the memorabilia. It's kind of one of the things that we enjoy, we like. We've dabbled in lots of different things. Derek will make a dime on just about anything. And, we've kind of focused in on a little different areas. I've done a lot of sports memorabilia, tickets, cards. But in the Mets Stadium, they have an in-house memorabilia place, and they have game-used items.
Nice.
But they have in-game used items.
The bases.
Yeah. So, like, the bases from the specific game that you're at, like, they pull them out and put them in the shop, like, while the game is still going on. So we were in, I don't know, if it was the 5th or 6th inning or something, my daughter and I went to go, get a hot dog, and she's all about checking out the shops. That's her thing. So we went into this place, and I'm like, first base from 3rd inning of today's game. I'm like, wow, that's pretty. They wanted a GER for it,
I
but
was going to say, how much does the base cost a guy anymore?
it was a GER, and it's kind of one of those gambles. You never know what kind of game it might be. I mean, a GER is, that's Derek Everitt type money. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I didn't live in New York for a month.
Hence the reason I don't have that kind of money.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But it was really interesting to see that that's kind of an avenue that they really picked up on, because people want, I guess, that I don't know, the feeling of being there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, if something major happened in that game, then all of a sudden that's a pretty valuable item.
Yeah, I mean, you get a Pete Alonso 4 home run game, or Justin Verlander, perfect game, or something that is unique, obviously increases the value.
Say nothing happens, and you just have you a nice little souvenir to talk about. Some people just have a lot of money.
So we did have a souvenir, but we couldn't. It would have been too tough to bring in the airplane. We were there, and that's the one thing I do love about baseball. They introduced the shot clock this year, the pitch clock. I like it. I definitely like. You have to pay attention a lot more, and maybe wasn't necessarily what I was expecting, because usually go to the ball game to relax, and that wasn't what it was. Unless you were just there not to watch the game.
But I like you went to yell obscenities and drink beer.
Yeah, that's why we used to go, but not anymore. I mean, that's back when you go to the Provo Angels games.
Really let them have it.
And we,
snuck in your
caffeinated beverages.
Your Hayek Zero.
O'Doul's. We had some really good seats. We were in the outfield on row 1, hoping for a home run ball. Of course, the score was like 2-0, no pop flies. And anyways, they do the in-inning, promotions and things. And our row got picked. So what they did is our row and a row behind us, you had to take a big giant head. It was the Mets Hall of Fame induction memorabilia. I'm not saying it's stereotyping, and I could definitely be wrong.
You probably are.
Normally you wouldn't think of, how do I say this delicately? Someone in Ogden, like their wife, that you might not expect as a closet WWE fan. That isn't necessarily your target market.
That sounds pretty specific.
That's usually not who you're going after. But you never know.
I go after people with money.
Yes.
They vote with their wallet, I've been told.
That's what I've heard. So my daughter, when she was trying to give this head away, she would hit up 3 people, and they all said no, they didn't want it. And I'm like, honey, you have to find somebody who's in Mets gear, has a hat, has a personalized jersey, might say number 5, Pelican, that they're in it to win it. Not, your average fan who's not wearing any kind of memorabilia.
I'll tell you what you should have done afterwards.
Okay.
I want to hear the finish of the story.
So my son took it, and he found there's a kid probably about, 7 years old with his grandma. Him and grandma were both decked out. She had on a Bobby Bonilla jersey. He had on, I think, a Pete Alonso, and they were deep into it. And they went and gave it to him. My wife was there. Said, "Hey, do you want this?" And they're like, "Are you for real?" And yeah, we live from Utah, and you came from Utah to come to a game. Yeah, we kind of do a thing. Well, really? My wife's like, "Yeah, you can have this," and they were blown away. The most grateful ever. The kid lit up like D-Roy on a WW Royal Rumble Raw 1987.
Something that's nice for us, mister.
That's exactly it. So it was really gratifying, and that's kind of I taught my daughter, I'm like, you got to find your buyer. You got to find the right person who wants your product, if that makes sense.
And that boy grew up to be a congressman and change the world after one act of kindness. I was going to say what you should have. Here's what D-Roy did.
Oh, I know what D-Roy would have done.
Well, hear me out here. If you don't want to ship at home, you still have the internet. You go home to your apartment, wherever you're living, take a picture, put that bad boy on the Facebook Marketplace, ask, $30, $50, and they just have to come meet you down at the stoop, and it's gone in a weekend.
And see, hence the reason that D-Roy kicked it off buying the Trevor Hicks American Idol type signs. He found them and sold them. I didn't necessarily, do that. I found a diehard. So
I mean, that's nice. It's nice to do that for somebody, and they're happy to have it. It was a good thing.
It was a good thing.
Gave your kids a good, warm, tingly feeling about doing the right thing, and you taught them how to find the right person for the job.
But D-Roy knows
how to stereotype somebody down to take advantage of them if ever you're trying to make some money off of them.
You know your buyer. Know your
buyer. Exactly.
Know your buyer. So.
Exactly. You don't go. I mean, you're not going to go to a wedding boutique and try to sell WrestleMania cards because they're not looking for that.
May, but if they
go to a wrestling convention, try to sell wedding dresses because most of them aren't looking for that at that time. It's just know your audience, know your niche.
And if you ever are at a wedding booth and you're selling wrestling cards, and there's some someone of the opposite sex that might be interested, you go a little deeper, D-Roy. You go and find out why they're interested in that. You might just find yourself a big keeper.
You might be looking for a new new fiance at the end of that trip. I don't
know. And if that's what she likes, you better realize it's a good thing, huh, D-Roy?
Sometimes you don't. Yeah, I mean, you never know who you're going to catch. You never know what you're going to reel in, and so that's all I got to say about that.
That was the takeaway from the one item or circumstance in that particular day was I taught my daughter, you got to find the right buyer.
So you were back there for about a month.
Yep.
You were traveling around, doing your thing. Did you come home with anything to sell? Did you find anything that you're going to look to flip? Anything like that?
Hall of Fame. I'll just say that. The Baseball Hall of Fame. This was right during what we thought was the apocalypse. All of these Canadian wildfires that happened to start at the same time. All the smoke had come into New York City, and literally it looked like Godzilla was coming back. And
now you did quotation marks there. Do you think there's some arsonist up in Canada?
I'm not saying anything about that.
All right.
It just happened to be some weird things.
Wasn't them aliens they're disclosing?
We'll get there a little later here, but it was really weird. Like there was all kinds of orange fire. I mean, it was really bad. It was really.
There 45 orange fires.
Not that I noticed. There could have been 45 orange fires, but it was really weird. Like getting up that way, so it took a little longer to get there than we wanted to. But in the Hall of Fame, they got some Hall of Fame exclusive items. So just like we talked about with Disney and other items. So I do have some Hall of Fame items that, are going to go up. Found our boy Phil, special little Hall of Fame miniature plaque of his guy, Hank Aaron. So I don't know if you've been over there lately to the shop.
I haven't been for a little while.
I'm sure he's going to be there at some point, but, we got a little Hall of Fame thing for Hank Aaron, kind of a mini replica that we went to him, and I've got a few other items that are going to go up.
Nice. I've heard good things about that Cooperstown.
Definitely enjoyed it. Not enough time. My wife and kids realized that because it closed at 6:00 and we got there about 4. So 2 hours was not enough time for me.
You can go back?
Yes, there will be a return visit at some point, not sure when, but it was a good time. I'll dabble into another add-on to the story because after that we went to upstate New York, your family's area. I know you got some family up from that way. I know your father spent some time in that region, so like that area. But we also went to a Red Sox game, and after the Red Sox game, was at a hotel where we parked had our car valeted because it was really close and
because you're rich.
Well, I didn't know where else to go, so we just get as close as we can to the stadium and
hand the guy a bunch of money and say, "I'll be back for it, buddy. Better not have a scratch on it."
It was an official nice hotel parking lot.
Exactly.
I saw him where it was parked.
How much was it costing to valet that day?
It was $50, so it was there. But on the way back, because there was a rain delay, so the game started later.
So you got a little more of your money's worth.
Oh yeah, we did get a little more of our money's worth. Game was over. We go to the find the. You had to go in and get your key. There was no one there. You had to go into the hotel to get your key.
That way you didn't have to tip.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's true. It didn't have to. I mean, for $50, what am I supposed to tip? But I was there, and lo and behold, I see this guy in front of me, and I recognize him. Not like Guy Fieri recognize, but I look at him, and is the Hall of Famer. Just saw his picture like 2 days before, his what do you call it? His plaque, his bust, and it was Dennis Eckersley.
Saw his bust.
Yes, so it was Dennis Eckersley.
He still have his little mustache?
He still had his little mustache. So.
You recognized him?
I knew who he was. But then the other funny thing is, I was kind of right behind him. He's checking into his hotel because he works on one of the radio station, TV stations, and he's checking in, and the gal has no idea. And he's like, "Yeah, room for Dennis Eckersley," and I'm like. Okay, I knew who it was because
that confirmed it.
Yeah, I mean, I confirmed it, but I knew who it was because I mean, I said, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Not so many people rocking the mullet this long.
No, and
you were there from the original to the comeback.
Yes, like the early '70s to, and what are we in now? The 20s. So yeah, pushing 50 years he's been rocking the mullet. But yeah, I just talked to him for a real minute. I was like, "Hey man, can I take your picture?" He was really cordial about it. So. That was
Did you say I got like a slew of your cards?
I did. I did. It says I've probably got way too many of your cards. Some rookies. Some, I didn't bring up the. Hey, what was it like in 1988 when you threw that pitch to Kurt Gibson and it's like the most infamous home run that's ever been hit? Didn't bring that up.
Didn't bring that one up.
Timing is also. You got to know your buyers, your customers. You got to know your audience. You got to know when to swing.
You ask for that picture, you don't bring up the worst memory they got.
No, but it was a good time, D-Roy.
That's cool.
So
that's fun, and yeah, I don't know if we ever talked about it, but back when we were getting into cards, and I mean, we were picking them up for not much.
Yeah, not much.
And Adam went down a little Hall of Fame hole, looking for people going in and that were in, maybe undervalued. One of your guys was Dennis Eckersley. I remember. You had like just stacks of that guy's cards. So the fact you ran into him at the hotel, in Boston,
it was a good time,
and was able to have a few words with him. That's nice.
It was definitely fun. So we got so many good stories. Like I said, I'm glad to be back.
Glad to be back. We have had some technical issues. So hopefully everything sounds okay. I'm just gonna throw it out there that we're working on things. But we were dedicated to get an episode out, and I haven't even got into what I was doing all during the time.
We're back, so keep listening. Like I said, we're going to punch out quite a few episodes here, get us back in. D-Roy calls it season 2.
Yeah, this is season 2, episode 1.
I'm going to push it back in to say this really should be about episode 1 of season 12.
We should be. I mean, after we got took off the air the first time, it should have been a new season.
For those of you who've been the long-time listeners, we legit got kicked off the air. Us and Joe Rogan, we had the same problem. We just got too big for our britches, and
Adam was doing that ayahuasca.
Derek was some questionable
content
about what should or should not be, whether it was aliens, injections, whatever it was.
They're shutting down our computer. I didn't look at your search history. I just went ahead and figured it was the government out to get us.
It's they're all out there. So that being said, my friend D-Roy, there are 2 things in life that are for certain, and that would be.
Yeah, if I can remember this one, I think it's Deathpiles and taxes.
Well,